On. 5 seconds.
Came inside to this time. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
You do prefer that on the right?
Yeah,
You say? That's why I set it up.
Okay, thanks, brother.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hawk Talk. We're right here at the C.H. Fields Craft Kitchen at the Hilton Garden Inn in Indiana. Jack Benedict here with Coach Paul Tortorella. We've got a special guest coming our way at about the 6:30 mark tonight. We are here each and every Monday from 6 to 7 with Hawk Talk. We'll talk about the game last weekend, the game coming up, and anything else that happens to come up along the way. And by the way, you can go and check things out. No Facebook this time around. We're told that they're having a problem with that today somewhere along the way. But you can go to U92radio.com or WCCSradio.com. If you like to hook in, just look for the insignia, the logo of Hawk Talk, and get on that link and you'll be able to bring us in and join in the fun. And if you have any questions or comments, be sure to pass it along the way, and we'll have it for the coach or for yours truly, and I'm sure that I'll have difficulty answering it. But you won't. Coach, welcome aboard. I know you just came off the field. You always go light on Monday, don't you?
Yeah, we went light again today. We just had some corrections that we had to take care of from the game Saturday, and went a little bit over today to get everything cleaned up.
That was kind of an unusual game the other day. It looked like you had everything in tow after the first quarter. Two, outstanding touchdown passes. It's 14-0, and you're rolling along. And then, I don't know, what set in the second quarter?
Well, I think what happened was they kept playing, and we thought it was just going to be easy, and second quarter stalled out on offense a little bit, had some really good opportunities, played pretty good defense other than one drive the whole first half. So the momentum shifted. I thought there was a couple instances where we had a chance to make it 21-0, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with a couple penalties and a drop pass. And then they got their offense going a little bit and hit a couple pass plays on us. And, went in and scored on a third down play. They ran a pick play, and they actually picked our guy past the line of scrimmage, and the ball actually got thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So technically, it could have been called, but they didn't call it. But anyway, we didn't play a very good second quarter and went in only up 14-7, and that was a big concern.
Yeah, and that had to give Gannon life.
Absolutely.
Right. At first they thought they were going to get run out of the ballpark of the stadium, and that didn't happen. What was the talk like at halftime? How did you approach it?
Well, you can't, the momentum shifted, and we went in there, and our guys were a little down, and the first thing you got to tell them is, hey, look, we're still winning the game by a touchdown. And, if we can play like we did in the first quarter instead of the second quarter, we can take this game over. So we knew we were getting the ball to start the third quarter, and we talked about, having a great first drive, and we did that. We went right down and scored again on our first drive of the second half and went up 21-7 and really had the game under control going into the fourth quarter. We had a couple opportunities, after the turnover. We had the ball on their 46, and we were up 21-10, and we got a chance to kind of put them away, and we didn't do it. And there was another situation where we got the ball on the 40. We had unbelievable field position the whole game. Mm-hmm. We've really had unbelievable field position all year with the combination of our kicking game and that we've only got, knock on wood, we've only turned the ball over once in 4 games. And we've had a bunch of takeaways. I think we're +7 on defense. So that combination of that shows that we've had unbelievable field position in the first 4 games. Even in the Shepherd game, our field position was great. I think we've only started 2 drives behind our 25-yard line all year. And on defense, we have had a whole field to defend most of the time, and that's a combination of our kicking game, our punter, our kickoff coverage, our kickoff return team, and we're not turning the ball over on offense, and we're getting some takeaways on defense. So that's kind of where it's at, and the thing we have to learn from the game Saturday is when you have a team down, and I'm not saying when it's 14-0 because there's still a lot of game to be played.
Sure.
But when it's 21-10 late in the third quarter and you get the ball 1st and 10 on their 36-yard line, you got to put them away right there.
We have the video of the touchdown passes with Harry Woodbury with his tosses to Charles, to Irv, 47 yards, and then of course the great catch that Dwayne made too. That put it up. Let's see if we can show that the passes from quarterback Harry Woodbury. We look on the monitor, and if you folks who are watching home, comes to his left and ball in the air, and that's Brown's catch. Dwayne, I mean, he's covered. There's not much room there. It was a good throw, and of course he is so athletic that he made a beautiful play of it.
Well, it started with we had a protection breakdown, and Harry, had the wherewithal and the athletic ability to get out and not stay in the pocket. Mm-hmm. And that's not a very easy throw going to his left. We've seen Maxwell back and Lenny too. Mm-hmm. They could make that throw, but it's not very easy. And he just put it up there where it was a 50-50 ball for Dwayne in the wide Dwayne in the defensive back, and usually Dwayne's going to win that matchup. And that's basically what happened. It was just a great play by our quarterback and by Dwayne Brown.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to be back with more of Hawk Talk, and we're going to talk about the victory, 28-23 over Gannon. IUP is 3-1. Gannon drops to 2-3. Clarion's around the corner. We'll talk about that, and we'll be back with Coach Tort and more coming up. We're coming to you live from CH Fields here at the Hilton Garden Inn, the Craft Kitchen. Hope you'll join us. We'll be back right after we take this time out.
Man Running Company, proudly located in the heart of Indiana on Philadelphia Street since 2009. We offer the top models from the best brands of running and walking shoes. Stop in today for your free gait analysis from our expertly trained staff. We are happy to help solve any foot or shoe issue you may have. Please visit our website for more information. Gingerbread Man Running. Catch us if you can.
I'm with the voice of the IUP Crimson Hawks, Jack Benedict. And Jack, finally, you will be back in the booth broadcasting the Hawks. How good does that feel?
Oh, Mark, I'll tell you what, I can't wait. It is about time that I get back there.
And we'd like to invite your business to join our Hawks Booster Club.
That's right, back the best, the IUP Crimson Hawks, and help us sponsor the games for thousands of listeners on air and online. Check out the Crimson Hawks Sports Booster Plan, which is attached.
Kenley Insurance is a family-owned and operated insurance broker located in downtown Indiana at 689 Philadelphia Street.
Hi, my name is Nicole Kenley, a licensed insurance agent with 15 years of experience in the industry. We offer many solutions such as home, auto, renters, life, flood, and many more specialty products.
Hi, my name is Sam Kenley. We are a partner with over 30 A-rated companies such as Progressive, Travelers, Allstate, MetLife, and Nationwide, just to name a few.
Please call 724-216-0972 for your free insurance review.
The Co-op store has the largest selection of IUP gifts and apparel. The Co-op is always there with its convenient location and hours. The Co-op store has been serving IUP and the Indiana community since 1933, and all profits are returned to the students through campus programs and activities. The Co-op has all your campus needs from the dorm to the classroom. Visit us online at www.iupstore.com.
Coming your way, Jack Benedict here with Coach Paul Tortorella. IUP coming off a win, going 3-1 on the year now. Tort, you talked about the giveaway, takeaway aspect, and of course, haven't thrown any interceptions so far. And there's a play that was in the ball game last week, and the fans saw where Gannon turned a ball over. There was a pass completion. The ball was stripped. It was Darius Bruce who knocked it away.
Yes.
It was, and then Gibson recovered.
Right.
That's another big play for you by who started all the freshmen.
Well, yeah, it was going to be about a 16-yard gain. They hit the comeback to the field, and Darius did a good job stripping the ball, and then Bryce was right there to fall on it. So that was the point right there where we should have took the game over. We got to go in right there and kind of put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, and go up 18. And I think would have made things a lot better for us in the fourth quarter.
Did Gannon do anything that you weren't aware of?
They really didn't. Offensively, they have a very good scheme, very good. They do a lot of things. They match stuff up with what you're playing on defense. Very impressed with how they run their offense. Defensively, they really didn't change anything. We kind of knew what they were in. It was more really our penalties on offense that caused us more problems than anything. We had 3 holds. We had an issue with they were yelling out shift at the beginning in the first half, and we were going on first sound. A couple times our guys jumped. And that gets us from, like, one instance we were going to be 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 5. Then it gets you to 3rd and 10. Then we drop a pass in the flat. We score on that drive. We're on their 40-yard line. We make it 21-0. That's probably, going to give us a really good lead, and it's going to make them one-dimensional. We can never get to the point where we can make them one-dimensional on offense. They did a great job mixing the run and pass, play action, running a lot of pick routes, wheel routes, et cetera, et cetera. They do a great job offensively with their scheme. But, again, we had a couple unfortunate penalty calls, and, a couple of the holds were holds. They were holding.
Well, that's going to happen.
And, but it's, when you get a 10-yard holding penalty and you go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20 or 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 15, at times that becomes hard to overcome.
Sure, yeah. We had talked about that strip and that recovery by Gibson. I think it was the next series. How about the offensive interference called against Irv, Charles?
Well, I'll just put it to you this way.
Okay.
Right after the game, Phil Henry, who came and spoke at our chapel.
Yep. Okay.
He had, as unbelievable as this sounds, he was standing on Gannon's sideline right where the play happened. And somehow, some way, he decided to video Irvin Charles on that play.
Wow.
On that takeoff route, and and he showed me the video on his phone, which was very clear. Now, if you send it to me or send it to the PSAC office, it gets distorted. There's zero contact. The guy just falls down. That's it. And I think the problem, I think what you got to watch is, if Hilton Ridley does that or Daquan Green does that, maybe it doesn't get called. But, you got a big guy, Irvin Charles,
a name.
They see a guy fall down. I think he thought he saw something that really wasn't there. And I'm just being honest. I looked at on our video, it doesn't look like there's anything. But then when you look at something like what I looked at after the game, there's nothing.
Well, and knowing, although he's an IUP guy, Phil Henry, as we do, he's not going to lie. And he's right there.
Well, he just showed me the video, the film. That's all I needed to see.
That's all. Yeah. Well, when the game went to the 91-yard drive by Gannon, so it's 21-16, and we get the block, and Streeter gets the ball and takes off. We have that on video. I thought it was going to be 2 points there for a long time, but he couldn't quite make it, and they tackle him at the 5-yard line. Who got the block? Was it
Moore?
Okay.
Greg Moore.
Yeah.
That's our version in football, the 3-point play. We take a point away from them and we get 2, but we're 5. And it's a great job when you look at our guys. They're really giving great effort, and so are Gannon's guys. Watch 51 for Gannon. He makes an unbelievable play.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And then, he's not a running back or skill guy. He's a defensive end.
Yeah. And then Harry, his 8-yard run goes in for a touchdown. He has 2 rushing touchdowns this year. He has some mobility. I don't think you describe him as a great runner, but he's got enough mobility to go with what he does through the air that he gives you that two-way deal.
He's got very good feet for a quarterback, and he's very athletic. So you can use him a little bit running the zone read now a little bit, and that play there's what we call our emo bluff play. Where it worked perfect. It was a great call, and it was clean, and it was a really good call in that situation. And it was pretty easy because he was untouched. But he is a pretty good athlete.
Gannon had started a drive with about 3:05 to go later on there, and your defense held. Give me an overall assessment of how you thought the defense played.
Well, it's kind of like we talked today. When we're good on defense, we're really good. And when we're not very good, we're bad. Okay? And what I mean by that is if you look at the first quarter, they run 15 plays, and we force 4 punts. Boom, boom, boom. And that's how we get up 14-0. Then, we give up the touchdown drive in the second quarter. But, you tell me you're only going to give 7 points a half, I'll take that every time. We're going into the fourth quarter. We've only given up 10 points. So the bottom line is how many points you give up. So for 3 quarters, we played winning defense. We provided some great field position for our offense. We dropped 2 interceptions.
Yes.
Drops. Kelly dropped 1. And
was it Gibson?
Gibson's wasn't really a drop. He looked up and the ball hit him in the face. He didn't have vision on the ball. On that. Streeter down on the goal line should have intercepted that ball.
The one on Gibson was like a bullet.
Yeah, and it was thrown. It had a ton of heat on it, and he was coming out of his break, and it just showed right there. That one I didn't consider a drop. The real drop was Kelly. They threw the ball basically right to him like in the Kutztown game, and he just didn't. It was actually an easier play in this game than the play he made against Kutztown. So, like I say, that when the rubber meets the road, the bottom line is there's a lot of statistics out there, and the only one that matters is how many points you give up and how many points you score. So we go into the fourth quarter, and Gannon's they're averaging 35 points a game now. It's not like, they're a 2-3 team right now, which really should be 3-2. They lost on the last play to Bloomsburg. But they're going to average 30 points a game when the season's all said and done. They're going to score points. So if you're going into the fourth quarter only giving up 10 points against them, I'll take that every time. Now, in the fourth quarter, we didn't play very good. We gave up a double move in 3 deep, which you can't do. They hit a wheel route, which was really covered pretty well, but they had a mismatch with their running back on our linebacker, and he covered it pretty good. It was just a great throw and catch. That one didn't concern us as much as the one late. We're in cover 3 and we get beat on a double move, which that shouldn't happen when you're playing 3 deep.
Yeah. We have a question here from Randy. Hometown Bell Vernon, so he had to get that in there because they got a pretty good football team down there. Coach, he wants to know your plans for Terrence Glenn. They came in as a running back, highly touted from McKeesport, and now, as we've seen in practice, you've shifted him over to a defensive end rush
end. We're looking at him there. You can never have enough of those guys to rush the passer. We were talking today. I think we've seen in 4 games 138 called passes against us in 4 games. So that's an average of, 35 to 40 passes a game. So you got to have edge guys that can rush the quarterback, and you got to have a lot of them because they get tired. So we fiddled around. We don't really need him, at running back right now on the scout team, so to speak. So we're looking at him a little bit as a rush end. He's got a great future in front of him. He's one of those guys. He's big, he's athletic, and he's got good speed. He's got long arms. So he's the body type you're looking for. Down the road, he'll be a good player.
Yeah, I know. In watching the video, when I heard he was, coming to IUP, and thought, wow, they've got him everywhere. Wildcat, running back, wide out, to everything. Another question. Ron's got one for us here. Were you satisfied overall with the run game? And how about Adam Hauser? I know he was practicing some last week. I don't think you had him on Saturday. So the combination of, the rushing, he had 159 yards rushing.
Yeah, we ran the ball very well. If you look at our average, I think Evans averaged 10 yards a carry. Anderson averaged 6 yards a carry. Stewart averaged 5 yards a carry. Our power play, that run was like 9 carries for 74 yards. I mean, we ran the ball. We only had one negative run the whole game. Mm-hmm. And, we were running the ball, and even 3 and 4 yard runs aren't bad, and that was like the worst runs we had. So in regards to Hauser, hopefully he'll be ready this weekend. If not, hopefully we'll get him next weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the next question we had, Tom from Indiana, and he follows up on about what you just answered, some of that about multiple running backs. Mm-hmm. You look at any one of them as a workhorse, but the difference in your running backs, you have Anderson and Evans are similar, right, and then Stewart and Hauser are similar,
right? So
you like to mix them.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
Yeah,
but you also you got to watch that you don't run into the problem with trying to get them all a lot of different touches, and you lose the rhythm of your offense. Like, it's great having 4 running backs. I mean, I can remember in 2018, we were down to Justice Evans at the end of the year going up to Edinburgh, and I don't even think we had a backup running back. We were going to put Langdon in there, who was an H-back.
Yes,
because he was a high school fullback. So those guys get beat up. I mean, Hauser got hurt on the first series of the game. So it's a good problem to have, but you also got to watch that. You still got to run your offense and keep your offense in rhythm, and you can't be worried about giving each guy 5-6 carries apiece, and that kind of stagnates you a little bit on offense. Like Evans had the hot hand Saturday, and we went with him, and then Anderson and Stewart got the ball a little bit also. So, they're different kind of backs.
Sure.
It's like the pass in the flat to DeJour that he didn't catch. It happens. Guys drop passes. If I had to bet on it, I would have wanted Evans or Anderson in there on that play.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's too hard to match up the running back with the play call. You only got 30 seconds to run the play. You almost have to use a certain back in a certain grouping to have the right guy in there. Mm. It's not an easy thing to do.
Tom has a follow-up question. Wanted to know if you feel you're building adequate depth on both sides of the ball.
Well, I think we have depth offensively. I mean, we've got a lot of depth at wideout, a lot of depth at running back. We have Chad Layton got a couple plays in the game Saturday in high leverage situation when John Robinson's helmet came off. Mm-hmm. Made a really good block on the power. He's a freshman. We're in essence starting 5 freshmen on defense. Fowler and Fazell's playing as much as anybody at the other end, and our 3 safeties are all freshmen. Howard,
Ingram,
and Bruce
Darius. Yeah.
So and we've got 2 freshmen, Toller and Washington, that are injured. So we've got a whole group of freshmen for the, if 1 or 2 of those guys, like Washington, can play corner or safety. So you almost have a whole 5 defensive back set with just all freshmen. Mm-hmm. At linebacker, Montel Sims is a freshman that got hurt in spring ball. He would definitely be playing right now.
How about Vaughn?
Vaughn was hurt with a knee. So we, defensively, we've got 8 Don linemen, and none of them are seniors. We have 8 defensive linemen for 4 positions, and they're all juniors or less. So, we're not overly young on offense, but we're really young on defense.
Defense, yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to be back with more. We have a special guest coming up. We're with Coach Paul Tortorella. It's called Hawk Talk. You can go to our website and U92radio.com. Go to the link, Hawk Talk. You can pick us up on video or whatever, and maybe have a question for us you can pass along to us, or WCCSradio.com. We're back here at the Hilton Garden Inn, coming back with Hawk Talk after we take this time out.
The Co-op store has the largest selection of IUP gifts and apparel. The Co-op is always there with its convenient location and hours. The Co-op store has been serving IUP and the Indiana community since 1933, and all profits are returned to the students through campus programs and activities. The Co-op has all your campus needs from the dorm to the classroom. Visit us online at www.iupstore.com.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan at Four Wheeling for Less, your local ATV and side-by-side dealership. We specialize in buying, selling, and servicing all major makes and models. In our sales department, we offer financing, warranties, and purchase appraisals. Our service department will keep you up and running for your next adventure, and our parts and accessories department can help you find whatever you're looking for. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or get service work done, visit our website, or give us a call, or stop by today.
Hi, this is Zach, and welcome to Gingerbread Man Running Company, proudly located in the heart of Indiana on Philadelphia Street since 2009. We offer the top models from the best brands of running and walking shoes. Stop in today for your free gait analysis from our expertly trained staff. We are happy to help solve any foot or shoe issue you may have. Please visit our website for more information. Gingerbread Man Running. Catch us if you can.
This is the voice of the IUP Crimson Hawks, Jack Benedict, inviting you to follow the Hawks home and away on U92.5 FM and at U92radio.com.
With you right now.
Saturday game
I
day
guess
with
we
another.
are. We're on Hawk Talk. We're just getting organized. We got another coach coming in. They're double teaming me here. And Jack Benedict with you with Coach Paul Tortorella, and Associate Head Coach Jimmy Smith is with us right now. We're going to talk with him in just a few moments. We're going to talk about Clarion. That game is Saturday at 2 o'clock. And also, of course, we've got some other notes along the way that we'll pass along to you. We'll be on the air, by the way, on U92.5 Saturday with a 1:30. All right, Smitty, welcome aboard. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
Yeah, you bet. Well, Coach said I'm going to bring over one of my longtime assistants. You know, it's amazing. You and Tort and Campy, Mike Campolo, all around 20 years. That's unusual, but that shows a lot of allegiance to IUP, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. You know, we're very grateful and lucky to have an opportunity to spend that much time not only together but at one place. And then for me and Campy, obviously, being our alma mater, so it's very near and dear to our hearts. So we're very thankful for that.
You played at IUP in the mid-'90s. At what time in your career did you think that you wanted to become a coach, or was that just kind of an automatic thing?
Well, I mean, I was an educator. I was in health and physical education, so I always knew I wanted to teach, and coaching is teaching. And so when I was finishing up, getting near the end here and getting ready to go do my student teaching, and had an opportunity here to coach, and then Paul was on the staff at that time, and then Frank Signetti Jr. And so I had an opportunity to be around those guys and sort of see what they did, and Jim Hostler, and sort of caught a little knack for it, and figured try to learn as much as what I possibly can, because if I'm going to go get a teaching job, I'd probably want to coach. So at that time, I knew that I had a wealth of knowledge, here with the staff, and then, with Frank Signetti Sr. So I figured I'd try to absorb as much and prepare myself the best I could for that opportunity to go on and coach in high school or whatever.
Yeah. Let me follow up with, you mentioned big guys. We call him Frank Signetti Sr., the Hall of Famer. And I know from time to time you guys talk. Does that still go on?
Oh, absolutely. Like I talked to him last week, and he's sharp. He's still, in tune with everything that's going on. I mean, I know Paul will say the same, but he's an unbelievable resource. Just as we've had we have several of those. I look at Paul as an awesome resource, but I still stay in touch with Big Guy and Coach Signetti, and he's the best in my opinion.
I know you have some
nice
thoughts about it.
He's like I said when I worked for him, after I was done working for him, he's the best guy I ever worked for, in every phase. And I worked for some big time coaches in regards to stature and where they were and what their names are. But the best guy I ever worked for was the Big Guy. And I still, every Saturday morning, I get the text. Every Saturday morning. It's been like that since I've been the head coach. Every Saturday morning, the text comes in. Good luck. Hope you guys are healthy. Go get a win. You guys are doing great. So, we all learned a lot from him.
Sure.
There's certain things that he, sayings that he had and philosophies that he had that we still use in our building today. One of them is perception and reality. It's not the same thing. That's one that we talk about on a pretty consistent basis, along with some other funny things that he used to say. But he was great. When I came here, he said, "Tort, you'll be here 2 years and you'll go back to Division I," and that was 27 years ago. So
there you go.
That may be the only time he was wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm going to follow up on that because he could coach. I would see like almost any position. And you've come into that situation. Smitty, you've coached both offense and defense, D-backs, linebackers, all. Any particular area that you particularly like, or they just kind of fit you in where you're needed?
I think football is football, and the more that you can learn about every phase, I think the better it is for you, from a knowledge basis. But really, with that being said, it's because of Coach Signetti that I had that opportunity, because when he hired me back here, my experience here as a player was on offense, and I hadn't played defense since I was in high school, and had a little stint at Latrobe High School in high school football and coached a little bit of defense there. But then when a position opened up here, full time, it was really Paul that had to sort of make the call, and Coach Signetti said, "Hey, I could bring you back, but you're going to have to go over on defense." And that was a great opportunity. And he told me back then, he said, it'll be the best thing for you because it'll help evolve you. Mm-hmm. And back in the olden days, they used to do that. They would switch. You'd coach offense one year and defense, and I never really knew that. And Coach Signetti had shared that with me, that he would sometimes, shift his staff around, and you just don't get that opportunity these days anymore. And once again, I'm very thankful and appreciative of that. And it started with Coach Signetti, and then went to Paul agreeing to bring a guy in that had never coached defense, to help him out. So,
well, Coach Tort mentioned about the youth on defense. So you've had your work cut out for you. You have two linebackers who are starting that technically, it's 1 year, it's their first year. And then you had two guys that played for 4 years there. And then the D-backs, all these rookies in the secondary. You earned your money this year, Coach.
Well, but again, it's fun. It's frustrating. It's a challenge, but you got to embrace it, and you'll see, you'll see the outcome as they grow and they develop, and you'll see them, produce and be productive. And that's really that's the beauty of that, So you're going to go through some peaks and some valleys, and you go through some rough patches, but once those guys get it, man, they're going to be able to take off. And you're going to look back at these moments and be like, man, remember when you had to just cross every T and dot every I, and then pretty soon those guys are just going to be taking off. And they're going to be sharing that information with other guys that are going to come into the program.
So the team is 3-1. Do you see, since you went in camp on August 16th, you can see that progression, how they're gaining more confidence every game?
Sure. the communication and, football is a complex game in terms of just the moving pieces, the mental gymnastics. And as you sort of work through that, you can see that communication coming out. Now, you say something to them and they recognize it, as it's coming out of your mouth, or, and so as a result, then what happens is they start to play faster, and they play smarter, and they play more together. But it's a work in progress to sort of get that all molded together. It's like a ball of clay, and you gotta shape it, and you gotta have some leadership in that group that, no matter how old they are, and they got to say, hey, yeah, I got this, or I've made this mistake in the past, and now I've made that correction, and so we're making those type of strides in those games.
It doesn't hurt to have a guy like Streeter, who of course was an All-American and a preseason All-American back there too, with all these young guys.
Sure, yeah, those guys you got to rely on because they got to lead by example.
Yeah,
and so you got to make sure that they're setting good examples in everything they do, from how they prepare to what they do on the practice field, to even what they're doing off the field. So you got to lean on those guys, because not that you don't have to invest time in them, but you've already invested the time in them, and your focus is on some of these younger guys that are just trying to really survive at some state.
Mm-hmm. Torty's secondary is going to be tested too in a number of weeks, because this league has some pretty good quarterbacks, and we've already seen a couple of them.
Well, they didn't have much of a learning curve, these young guys and these new transfers. I mean, the first two games we played Kutztown and Shepherd.
Right.
Both very good offenses. Obviously Shepherd with their quarterback and receivers, and, they can score points in bunches, and they're very experienced. And then Kutztown the same way. I mean, those will be two as good offenses as we'll play. And obviously down the road, you've got some other teams that are scoring a lot of points. So they got thrown into the fire right away against two really good teams.
Yeah. We saw last week where Kutztown upset Shepherd, then Shepherd goes out and they annihilate Shippensburg, who was previously undefeated. And then your former coach, Luke Barker, down to Charleston, right?
Right.
Yeah. They upset Notre Dame, Ohio.
Sure.
Yeah. Have you guys seen, I don't know if you watched any of that or not.
Well, with Jalen Hairston on our staff now, the former, he kind of clued us in on what happened in that game.
Yeah. Smitty?
I try to, keep track of guys from afar, but, and I saw that, and, and I'm sure that's an exciting win for them. But there's a lot of good Division II football in this, area in terms of, the region. And I think there's some parity, and it's challenging. It's exciting.
I'm going to take you back to when you played in the mid-'90s, way back in the old days there, so to speak. Any one game, any memorable moment or game that comes to mind? You played, 94 to 96? Mm-hmm. That's I'm telling you right away, you didn't have time to prepare.
I would say the most memorable game for me is probably my first game here against Grand Valley.
Oh.
We beat Grand Valley in a tight game. I think Mario Hardison hit a big post late in the game or whatever. I actually had a fourth down conversion cast. I think it might have been my first reception here, going in away from or towards the scoreboard where the scoreboard's at now. So that's a very that's a good memory. And then another memory would be obviously going down to Texas A&M Kingsville and playing down there. That was an exciting atmosphere. Didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to, but that was a really good football team. And then probably my last one would be up at Ferris State when we lost. They came back and beat us. That was my last football game here, and
is that right?
That was devastating, but it was another good football game and an exciting moment.
That Texas A&M Kingsville team, I think, was just maybe as good as we've ever played. They were super.
Yeah, between them and probably Central State. We went to play Central State that year. They were very talented, but Texas A&M Kingsville, that was a different monster.
Yeah. Tord, I know you've got a lot of memories here of some of those. When you take a look at these teams now, a lot of them have elevated, to other divisions, but
some of them have stayed. The Grand Valleys,
sure.
Like first game I ever coached here was at Grand Valley, and that was back when you could tie. There were ties. That's how old I am. But
what's a tie?
Brian Kelly's the head coach.
Yeah,
at Grand Valley.
yes.
You remember we were at Grand Valley, and they tried a field goal to tie the game. It was not even a long field. It was about a 35-yarder to tie the game on the last play of the game, and they missed it. So we ended up beating them by 3.
I'll tell you, there's just so many great memories. That's why we call it Hawk Talk. We have a lot of things to talk about. I've got to ask you this, Smitty. Since you've been at IUP all these years, at your alma mater, a lot of coaches that come in, many coaches, and they stay a few years, and then they move on to other areas. Look how many we've seen go to other Division I, and then in the NFL and so on. So I've been asked the question, why have you hung around these parts for so long?
For me, it's a quality of life. Having the opportunity to be involved in this profession and still being able to teach, because I feel when I'm out there coaching, I'm just teaching. I'm in the meeting room. It's like teaching a lesson. Having the opportunity to be around, great resources and bringing in good talent in terms of kids that you can go ahead and develop, because that's always been a big thing here, being able to go out and maybe recruit a kid that's under the radar, or maybe size measurables or whatever, could be academics, and then you get them here and you're able to develop them. So that always keeps you fresh and keep you going. But I really think it's just this is a great community. It's a great university. Obviously I'm biased towards it because of being my alma mater.
Sure.
And then just the guys that I've had the opportunity to work with. I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of great people. From back when I was a player, to all the years that I've coached, and that's really why I've chose to stay.
Man, you've got a young guy coming up that's playing in high school, Trevor, that I'm going to see Friday night when I do the Indiana game, that had a big game here last week, I guess, huh? You got a chance to talk to him about that. So, I don't know. We all have to be somewhere, right?
Yep.
Why not here?
The old saying that sometimes the grass isn't always greener. We've had a couple coaches leave here and wish they never left. So you have the ones that have skyrocketed.
Yes.
And, the Nick Sirianni's is head coach, and you don't get any higher than that. The Hostlers, Frank Jr. But we've also had a couple assistants that left, and they still tell me to this day, I wish I would have never left.
Yeah,
and they're actively coaching somewhere, but it's something that they say, I would have been better off just staying.
Well, before Smitty really lets you go, we're all baseball fans to an extent, So you got to tell me, because I know you're a card collector and your son is and so on, and Tort's a big baseball fan with Zach and Michael. And who's in the World Series?
Oof, man. I've been so involved with this football thing, Jack.
I know.
I haven't followed it as closely as what I normally do.
It seems like it's pretty wide open this year, but
it's funny you say it, because I was just looking at the standings this morning. Just because I was trying to get back in, like who's been eliminated, who's still in the hunt, who's already clinched, and geez, I don't know. I think it is probably one of those years where it's really wide open.
Yeah. Tort.
I think if in any year, if you're stuck and you're stumped, just say the Yankees and the Dodgers, and you'd probably be close.
We'll see, won't we? Well, we'll focus on Clarion is what we'll do, okay? Smitty, thanks a lot for coming in. I'm glad Tort brought you along here. It's always good to see you, and keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, Jack. Okay. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back here with Hawk Talk, and we're coming your way live from CH Craft Kitchen here at the Hilton Garden Inn. Back right after we take this time out.
The Co-op store has the largest selection of IUP gifts and apparel. The Co-op is always there with its convenient location and hours. The Co-op store has been serving IUP and the Indiana community since 1933, and all profits are returned to the students through campus programs and activities. The Co-op has all your campus needs from the dorm to the classroom. Visit us online at www.iupstore.com.
Kenley Insurance is a family-owned and operated insurance broker located in downtown Indiana at 689 Philadelphia Street.
Hi, my name is Nicole Kenley, a licensed insurance agent with 15 years of experience in the industry. We offer many solutions such as home, auto, renters, life, flood, and many more specialty products.
Hi, my name is Sam Kenley. We are a partner with over 30 A-rated companies such as Progressive, Travelers, Allstate, MetLife, and Nationwide, just to name a few.
Please call 724-216-0972 for your free insurance review.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan at Four Wheeling for Less, your local ATV and side-by-side dealership. We specialize in buying, selling, and servicing all major makes and models. In our sales department, we offer financing, warranties, and purchase appraisals. Our service department will keep you up and running for your next adventure, and our parts and accessories department can help you find whatever you're looking for. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or get service work done, visit our website, or give us a call, or stop by today.
Benedict, Coach Paul Tortorella, thanks to Coach Jim Smith for sitting in with us here for a little while, and we're back with you on Hawk Talk. Well, next up, Coach, is Clarion. So here's the situation. 75-0, Slippery Rock beats them last week. Wow. I know Clarion's had all kind of problems. I was talking with their SID today, and he said injuries to their quarterbacks through the year and never got on track to weather. So how do you keep your team focused on, listen, you always said the next game up, and this is it.
Right. Well, I think our philosophy feeds into what we're talking about here, whether we're playing a really good team or a team that's down. The record, where we're playing, who we're playing, really doesn't have a big effect on us because we're more worried about IUP, and we got to get better. You know, no matter who we're playing this Saturday, we got to get better this week in practice, and we've got to play a strong game, a clean game this Saturday, and it just happens to be Clarion and at Clarion. You can't get tied up in all the different things about who you're playing and what the records are. Because here's the other thing, and I said this after the Gannon game to Mark, I think. The team that we see on film, the Clarion team that we see on film, will not be the team that we see this Saturday. I can guarantee you that. Because it's been going on for years here. Teams get up to play IUP, and they're going to play a lot better than what they showed you on film. It's just that's not an opinion. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. And Gannon, we got up 14-0 on them, and if they're not playing IUP, they may just shut it down and go home. They didn't do that against us.
No, they didn't.
So we always say that the team that we play is going to play their best game of the year.
I had mentioned and alluded to the fact that they have used different quarterbacks.
Sure.
They've had two quarterbacks, I think, that went out with injuries. Part of what I saw last of their game against Slippery Rock, they had a big freshman kid in there. I think he's from Virginia, Richmond, Virginia,
right,
or whatever. How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, I think you don't really worry about who the quarterback is, just kind of what type of offense they're going to run. At times if you got a drop back guy that's strictly in the pocket, and then you got a running quarterback that's outside the pocket, and is a dual threat guy, that changes. But if they're similar and they're still running a similar offense, no matter who the quarterback is, it's not that big a deal who the quarterback is if they're running the same offense with whoever they have in there.
Right. Yeah. Would you like to get a better pass rush?
Yeah, I think when you look at a lot of the teams are RPOing and getting the ball out quick. The fact of the matter is we only have 4 sacks, and we got to get more to the quarterback. Now, the 2 series that were crucial series this year, the last series against Kutztown and the last series against Gannon, we had all kind of pressure on the quarterback. Every down. First down, we actually had the guy sacked, and he threw off Vaughn Wallace and threw an incomplete pass. We had him in the grasp. Then second down, same thing. We had a lot of pressure on him, forced a bad throw. Third down, again, a lot of pressure on him, threw a quick throw, and they caught it for a 5-yard gain. And then on fourth down, we forced them out of the pocket because we had 2 guys come free, and Fowler and Wallace, and had him going to his left, which is tough to do for a quarterback. So, sure. And it was the same thing against Kutztown. We had one of the sacks was in that last series against Kutztown with our front. So when we've needed it in crunch time on the, this is the last series of the game, and you got to get off the field to win it. We've gotten that pass rush that we're looking for. We just need to get it more consistently.
Yeah. When you look at stats, first thing we do, we look at sacks, but you got to look at hurries and everything else.
Sure, and we've had on Saturday we didn't have any sacks, but we had 7 hits on the quarterback.
Sure.
One blitz we brought, Kelly hit him, and the ball flew up in the air. He went to throw it, and we hit him, and it, very easily, if we'd had a guy there, it could have been an interception for a touchdown, but. Because the ball just flew up into the air right in the middle of the field. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody there, but it was caused by the pressure of the linebacker on the blitz.
I had an IUP fan ask me this week, said, do they still grade? Do the coaches still grade players? And
sure.
How do you do that? Has that changed over the years or not?
Yeah, it depends on how the coach wants to do it. I let our position coach grade them the way they want to grade them. Certain guys have different ways to grade. And then in the end, usually everybody kind of comes up with a percentage, plus minuses, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a lot of plays, if you're a corner and the play's a run to the other side of the field, there's really nothing to grade there. So, most guys have a percentage, and, we on Monday morning we go through it, and we go through every position and who played and what their grade was percentage-wise. And, at times it could be the difference in a guy starting or losing his starting job, just off of that grade. If we have a guy that's playing as a 2, so to speak, and he has a very productive game, and the starter doesn't do a whole lot, there's a very good chance that 2 is going to be the starter next week.
The ideal thing this week to go against a team like Clarion that's struggling and hasn't won a game is to get a nice lead and then give some of these other guys a chance to play. That's what the ideal thing is, but I know...
Well, that's easier said than done, as you say, but
you're right.
The last 2 weeks we've gotten off to great starts. At Mercyhurst, and then 14-0 in the first quarter. The first 2 series is we score on offense and get 2 3-and-outs on defense. So hopefully we've fixed that issue of having slow starts, and hopefully we can get a lead, build on it, and have a chance to get a good win on the road.
Bring us up to date on the injury situation. You alluded to a few of these guys earlier.
I think if we can get Hauser back, although he's questionable, we should be pretty much at the best we've ever. I mean, we really only have Randy Washington, who's still questionable, who would be playing a decent amount back in our secondary, rotating in. And Hauser. So that's really where we're at, just those 2 guys for right now.
How about depth on the defensive line with Mitchell being out? Moore has stepped in there nicely.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He came in and has played well the last 2 weeks, had a big tackle for a loss on Saturday on the reverse. Has done a really good job. He's a guy that didn't practice for 3 weeks in preseason because he was injured. So he's a little bit, behind in regard to his conditioning and how much he's practiced. But he stepped in and has done a pretty good job the last 2 weeks.
We had talked a little bit about Terrence Glenn, the true freshman. How do you handle a situation like that where you have a really talented freshman and you would maybe like to redshirt him?
Sure.
But you have an opportunity to play him? Sure. How do you handle that?
Well, I think right now where we sit, he's probably looking at a red shirt unless we had an injury or 2 at that position, which hopefully we don't have. But, in our program, what I try to explain to people is to have a winning program over a long period of time, you have to develop players. And just him getting developed, and even if he's getting red-shirted, if we think he's going to be a defensive end in the future, well, he needs to start practicing there. And the development comes whether you're redshirting or not in practice, and then in spring practice. And to do it over a long period of time and have a winning program, not just a winning team, you got to develop players. You don't always recruit the best guys. I mean, it's not like all the best players come to IUP. You have to develop, you know, and we've done a really good job. Our coaching staff has done a really good job, you know, over a long period of time of, you know, that's the very first thing that we have to do when we bring a guy into the program, whether he's a 4-star or a 1-star, is we got to develop him to be the best he can be. And that's what happens on the practice field, whether they're redshirted or not.
We're going to be back and have a couple of final questions, comments here from the coach. Just allude to the opponent for this week in Clarion when we return to Hawk Talk, and we'll do that right after we take this time out.
Kenley Insurance is a family-owned and operated insurance broker located in downtown Indiana at 689 Philadelphia Street.
Hi, my name is Nicole Kenley, a licensed insurance agent with 15 years of experience in the industry. We offer many solutions such as home, auto, renters, life, flood, and many more specialty products.
Hi, my name is Sam Kenley. We are a partner with over 30 A-rated companies such as Progressive, Travelers, Allstate, MetLife, and Nationwide, just to name a few.
Please call 724-216-0972 for your free insurance review.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan at Four Wheeling for Less, your local ATV and side-by-side dealership. We specialize in buying, selling, and servicing all major makes and models. In our sales department, we offer financing, warranties, and purchase appraisals. Our service department will keep you up and running for your next adventure, and our parts and accessories department can help you find whatever you're looking for. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or get service work done, visit our website, give us a call, or stop by today.
Hi, this is Zach, and welcome to Gingerbread Man Running Company, proudly located in the heart of Indiana on Philadelphia Street since 2009. We offer the top models from the best brands of running and walking shoes. Stop in today for your free gait analysis from our expertly trained staff. We are happy to help solve any foot or shoe issue you may have. Please visit our website for more information. Gingerbread Man Running. Catch us if you can.
The way Christmas does.
We're back with the final segment of Hawk Talk. Coach Tortorella, Clarion this week, 2 o'clock kickoff. It's homecoming, it's autumn festival, everything going on at Clarion. I know you say we put all that aside and we concentrate on the game. What does Clarion, they're winless, but they have to do something well. What do they do well?
Well, I know that somebody would say, well, how is that true? But they're pretty fun. Like, they're well coached. And, you know, I think they've had some injuries. They're fundamentally sound in what they do. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not doing things that are unsound. And Chris Weibel's a very good coach. You know, he played there, and he does a great job. The thing that you have to watch out for is they got nothing to lose. You know, I mean, you could get every trick play in the book. You could get a junk defense that we've never seen before. You know, it's happened before in the past. I'm not necessarily saying Clarion, but in general, you could get some things that they've not done all year because they really don't. You know, they're kind of trying to win a game any way they can win a game. The pressure's off. You know, so you got to be aware of that.
Yeah. I mean, a win for them is a season.
Sure.
You know,
and
so.
we you know, I don't know if you remember here, we lost to I want to say a 0-7 Clarion team maybe here in the rain.
I do
the
remember
rainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't. I mean, we weren't a great team that year, but we were a good team and we had a good record. And I can remember one year losing late in the year at Millersville. We were undefeated actually, and lost to Millersville late in the year, and that kind of derailed our top ranking in the region, and they had like 2 wins, I think. Yeah. So it's like, you know, I brought it up on Saturday after the game when I saw Kutztown beat East Stroudsburg 21-14. They just beaten Shepherd on the road, and it was no fluke. And then they come home to play East Stroudsburg, and it's 14-14 with 6 minutes to go in the game. So it's what you do that Saturday, and what's happened up to that Saturday has no consequence on that game that day.
Tort, we want to thank you for coming in again. Thanks to Coach Jim Smith. And good luck Saturday with Clarion. Keep them healthy and keep them going.
Appreciate it, Jack.
You
See
bet.
you at practice.
You bet. All right. That's our show for this week. Hawk Talk. We're glad to be with you each and every week, 6 to 7 o'clock, right here at the Hilton Garden Inn. We'll see you Saturday with IUP football, 1:30 airtime, 2 o'clock kickoff. For the coaches, Jack Benedict here, and thanks to Danielle Pisarcik. She keeps things going. John Smathers and Mark Bertig. Jack Benedict, we'll see you next time around. Sorry.